Now, ahead of the tribunal judgment on this presidential election petition, okay, what will be the role of the appeal court and the Supreme Court? Okay, the Federal Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court of Nigeria. Because why I'm asking this question is that if the court, okay, the tribunal declares that Tinubu did not win election, okay, and declare that either a rerun of election be done again or that another winner is being pronounced as winner and to take over government, Tinubu will not hand over, like I said earlier. So the question is that Tinubu is likely going to appeal that judgment, because that has been the history of things in Nigeria. They will appeal it, and if they appeal it and it's also not coming to their favor, they will go to the Supreme Court. And we've had some quarters say that at the point, at that level, Supreme Court has the overall prerogative, the overall power to determine the final judgment and how the issue will go. And the question is, who is in the appeal court to handle that appeal from Tinubu and from APC and from INEC? And who is in the Supreme Court to handle that judgment if it gets to Supreme Court? Now, we've seen that the government of APC has actually positioned people, their own supporters, in those positions, because again, the people denominated to be in those positions are people they feel they have favored, and so when they come, and not just favored, they also prepare them for future incidents like this so that they can be rescued out of the troubled waters. Okay, so now, by law, does the Supreme Court reserve all the rights to determine the final state of the judgment? And if it is true, what will be the fate of Nigerians if the judgment they are passing or they are upholding is not in favor of all Nigerians, if it's in favor of few APC leaders that are propagating what is happening? That is a big question. The role of appeal court and Supreme Court on the outcome of the tribunal judgment. That is it. Because right now, we've seen that APC has positioned people everywhere to support them when the time comes. Okay? So what if the appeal court and the Supreme Court are also compromised? Because we know that judiciary in Nigeria is compromised head to toe. Okay? When the judgment involves a small man for a small crime, you will see them bringing all their professionalism and show that they have experience and they pass judgment in a short period, case is concluded. But when it comes to the case of big Nigerians, oh no, nothing happens. Nothing happens. Nobody comes to nobody talks. It's just like he's saying that when the small child commits offense, you have cane everywhere. In fact, every 4 people even be donating cane free of charge to flog the small child. But when an adult commits the same offense, okay, the cane will finish in the bush, even in the house. Go and bring cane. This one will say, I didn't see cane. This one will say, I didn't see cane. This one will say, I didn't see cane. Because the offense is involving an elder and an adult in the house. Just a good example is what happened to Mesoma on this JAMB manipulation. Okay, everybody came out to kill the young girl. Okay, but the question is, Tinubu and INEC rigged the election and forged their result, and nothing happened. And they declared Tinubu winner, and nothing happened up till now. Cases in the court, and everybody's complaining. Life is going on. But Mesoma did that because the leaders of the country are doing it. And tell me, what moral justification does Nigerians have to prosecute Mesoma for that JAMB issue when the leaders are doing the same? The same Tinubu that the INEC had declared a winner has issue with his qualification, has issue with his age, has issue with his forfeiture of fund in the United States with respect to drug dealings, has issue with all election manipulation that took place under INEC. INEC chairman has issue with manipulation of the election result, the vote of Nigerians, and misuse of Nigerian fund, 300 billion, whopping 300 billion naira to conduct a fake election, and these people have not been prosecuted. So why won't a small girl like Ms. Oma do that kind of thing? So that is what we're saying. Okay, so the judiciary is obviously not doing us a favor just because the who is who in Nigeria has compromised them. So why am I bringing this analogy of Mesoma into this? Because if Tinubu loses election now, okay, he goes to appeal court or he goes to Supreme Court, the same people there are also compromised and are still going to uphold him as winner, so I can continue his government. Okay, so because that is where I have the issue. The tribunal judgment is not going to be final. When the tribunal passes their judgment, okay, the next thing is to appeal it. So if Tinubu loses at the tribunal, he's going to take it to appeal court. Okay, and if the appeal court still rule against him, he's going to go to Supreme Court. The same thing will happen to Labour Party and the PDP. If they lose at the tribunal, there's 50-50 chance, if not more, that they will go to the Federal Court of Appeal to appeal the judgment. And if they lose there, there's also a tendency that they will go to Supreme Court for final judgment. And in all of these, Tinubu will continue in power as the president, and Tinubu will continue to determine who is who in those levels of judiciary to determine the end of the case. So now, how do we handle this kind of thing? A situation where fraud is at high level, even in the electoral system, and the judiciary is also supporting it by the way they make their judgment. You understand? So it's a very terrible one that is awaiting Nigerians. Now, the other part of the question is, how will Nigerians handle it? If the judiciary fail us from A to Z in this judgment, okay, if the tribunal fails, then the Federal Court of Appeal fails, and then Supreme Court fails by giving judgment to Tinubu and declaring him a winner, what will Nigerians do? It means that Nigerians, one, slide into a full dictatorial system of government. That is it. Because Tinubu will obviously be a dictator. In fact, it's going to be more dictatorial than Buhari in this government. That is one part. Number two, it means that corruption is fully institutionalized in Nigeria. It means that you can do anything, and once you make the money, you use the money to buy your judgment. That is exactly what it is. Is that the condition Nigeria is going to going to be? Is that where we want to be as Nigerians, as a people, and as a nation? Why won't, for once, people uphold integrity and prove their self-worth and stop all of this corruption propagation? Because it's going to be a very bad one if at the end of the day, the judiciary fail Nigerians A to Z, from the tribunal to the Federal Court of Appeal and to the Supreme Court. They uphold judgment for Tinubu as winner, when we all saw how the election went, how the INEC chairman failed everybody. It means that Nigeria is finished. It means that Nigeria is finished. It means that even the smallest man in Nigeria will not have hope again. Okay. Now look at the way things are going. Just few months under Tinubu's government, the floating of naira has caused problem. The exchange rate has caused problem. That even now, I think the report has shown that Dàñgeŕ has lost his position as the richest man in Africa, had lost over $5 billion in one day because of the floating of the naira exchange rate. Now, a report has also come that Mike Adenuga, who used to be number 3 richest man in Nigeria with all his wealth, okay, had lost close to 50% of his net worth because of floating of naira. Okay, from about 6-point-something billion dollar net worth now to about $3.6 billion net worth. Okay, so if the big people are losing such whopping amount of money because of just 2 months government of Tinubu, what about the small people? Okay, and the small people that are suffering now, it's not even about net worth, it's about being able to have food to eat, being able to buy fuel, being able to have businesses are crashing, people are dying of hunger, and a lot of things are going on in Nigeria is currently crashing on a free fall like a pack of cards. So this kind of government, if it stays 4 years, sorry for everybody. So now the question is, how will Nigeria handle it if the judiciary then takes us to a level where Tinubu remains in power? That's the question Nigerians will need to answer. And if they get to a level where they need to do a rerun of election, the same Nigerians, I know that most of the people suffering now are, most of them supported APC and supported Tinubu on a tribal basis or on a party basis. Okay, but now everybody is suffering. Suffering does not know tribe. Suffering does not know party. Suffering does not know religion. Suffering does not know sentiment. You must suffer if the suffer comes to you. That is Nigeria. That is the nature of suffering. Now everybody is suffering by just decision that Tinubu has made in the past 2 months that he got to power. Not even up to 2 months, just a month and a half. Okay, now these same people, if the tribunal or the court orders a rerun of election, who will they vote for? Are they going to come out now and vote en masse to ensure that both PDP and APC does not get to power again and get to a level where we have free Nigerians that will run Nigeria for the betterment of all? This is the question we should ask ourselves and begin to prepare our mind, because already APC is preparing for a rerun and we don't know how it's going to come out to be. And if there's going to be a rerun, you should not be taken unawares. Get ready for it, because it's already looking like there will be a rerun of election. So the judiciary, we don't know where judiciary will be, because right now, we say judiciary is the last hope of the common man, but judiciary has failed Nigerians in the past and has made everybody hopeless. And so we're not, even up till now, people are still not hoping to have a better judgment from the tribunal, not to talk of the Federal Court of Appeal or the Supreme Court. So thank you for listening, and let's have your comment. And let's have your answers to these questions on the way Nigeria will go if the judiciary fails Nigerians at all levels.